Hey, Sex People Taylor, Sparks here, Mariposa Aki. How are you guys today? One of the things that I get a lot of questions about, and I mean, it is one of the top questions that I get. And, the end of the question may vary, but the question always starts with, how do I tell my partner? How do I say to my partner? How do I say to my mom? How do I tell my children? And people are not talking, and you've heard me quote Myron Golden in the past, saying the problem with communication is that people really think they're having it. You're not. But today, some of us, or a lot of us, were not raised with the ability, or not taught how to have the difficult conversations. So I want to go over a difficult conversation formula that Reed Mahalko, who's a sex educator, had put together. But I think it's brilliant. So, but I will give the credit to him where credit is due. But I just think it is brilliant. So the questions always start with how, and I find this, in monogamy as much as I find it in non-monogamy. And people are just afraid to say what it is they want or what they don't want. And by not saying the difficult thing, it is literally eating away at your relationships. It's not only eating away at your relationship, it's eating away at you. But it is deteriorating your relationship because you are not saying the things that you were afraid to say. And I don't mean just negative things. By not saying the negative things, you build up resentment, right? And it builds and it builds and it builds, and it can be 3 years or 4 years or 6 months or 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, and then you kind of explode. But even withholding things like appreciation and thoughtfulness, and not saying the good things to your partner for whatever reason, like, well, no one tells me I'm appreciated. Why do I need to tell them they're appreciated? That kind of thing. And that also builds up unsettled resentment. And it is not good. So there is this formula that Reed put together to help people have the difficult conversations. And it's 3 questions, right? And you're going to do this exercise where you write, give yourself 3 to 5 minutes on each of the questions, and you'll write down the answers. And then you will have this formula, this script, in order to have the conversation with your partner, your boss, your family member, your child. But it works all across the board. So the first question is, what is it that I'm not saying? Right? What is it that I'm not saying? I want to spend more time out with, playing golf. I want to, I don't want to go shopping with you anymore. I don't want to go to my mother-in-law's house every Sunday. I'd like to sit and watch the game. I want more sex. I want to open the relationship. Or I want to go from swinging to polyamory. Or I want to add more. What is it that you're not saying, right? So take 3 to 5 minutes and write that down. The second thing, what am I afraid might happen if I say it? What am I afraid might happen if I say it? Right? So you're going to take 3 to 5 minutes to write down all the things, and don't hold back. Just every fear, everything that agitates you, everything, write it all down, right? And then you want to write down what you would like to have happen by saying it, right? And write down all the positive things. Don't write down the negative shit. Write down, if I say this, this is what I want to happen when I say this. And even if it's something like, it's just going to open up a dialogue, I can get the stress off my chest. I just want to be able to say it without any feedback, This is what I would like to happen. And so write everything down. And if you have to even print it out on a piece of paper and just hand it to your partner or your boss or your mom or whomever, because you just can't even sit there and have the conversation, you can even do that. But but you want to do it, right? So you write it all down, and then you say to your partner, hey, or your boss or whomever, hey, there are some things that have been on my mind that I have not been saying to you. Um, and I haven't said them because I'm afraid that the following might happen. And then you'll take the answers from number two, right? And that could be whatever it is, right? And then you'll say, what I would like to have happen by telling you this is, and then you'll take the answers from number three, right? So you're not going to start with the one, and then you will tell them number one, what the number one was. This is what I've been afraid to say. Okay, you can play this back if you got it. So, an example, hey partner, oh my God, this was some things that have been on my mind and that I have not been saying to you. And I haven't been saying them because I'm afraid the following might happen. You'll lose all respect for me. I think you might leave me or divorce me. What I would like to happen by telling you this is that for you to know that I would not lie to you, and that I want you to trust me more. And what I'm not telling you is, I got laid off my job last week. I've been spending every day when I leave the house at Starbucks looking for a new job, and I have not found one yet. Thanks for listening, and I hope that, I would like to listen also if you have something to share about what I just said. But do that, say that. And because by not saying things, literally at some point it's going to explode. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to couples, young couples, right, who dated 3 or 4 years, planned a whole wedding, was going to get married, had the wedding, and then the husband never turned in the marriage license because, if you don't turn it in certain states within 30 days, it becomes null and void and you are actually not married. He never turned it in. And when asked why, he said, I never really wanted to be married. But he went through a whole engagement, an engagement party, and a whole wedding and never turned in the paperwork because he was afraid to have the difficult conversation. I know another couple that was married for 15 years with 2 children, and one day the husband came up and said, I don't love you. Actually, I've never loved you. I didn't want the first child or the second child. I'm leaving. So it literally tears away at your whole being. So these are some of the things that we are going to practice in my upcoming 4-week Inner Work intensive. It starts on March 9th. I welcome you. There is still some space available. We're going to start with 2 group trainings with DISC and communication and emotional management. And then we're going to go into the one-on-one trainings. And this is going to give you an opportunity to even practice and role play the difficult conversations. I welcome you to go to Organic Lovin' and register for this inner work. It says it is for non-monogamous individuals. You do not have to be coupled. It's for an individual. If you are coupled, I welcome you both to join, but it's not required. But yeah, register today. I can only accept a total of 20 individuals because of the one-on-one work. That's all I can do in 4 weeks. So I really would very much want to help you have the best possible relationship with yourself, first and foremost, and then with your partners. What we are going to cover will help you in all areas of your life, be it monogamy, non-monogamy, with your boss, your children. And I'm looking forward to working with you all. Have a great rest of your day. Ciao. Bye-bye.